right, Shalom. Shalom. First and foremost, as always, I want to give all the praise, all the honor, and all the glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Harakakodash. And of course, as always, double honors to our apostles and our elders that rule well at Great Millstone. Salutations to all you sincere Akim, preaching this word in all truth and sincerity. All right, this is 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. It says, lest Satan should gain an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. And a device that this devil, all right, is going around, pushing to harbin souls, primarily of the poor, which are the Israelites, these so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, is right now they're at a super high rate of pushing out false hope, false help. And I noticed a lot of these commercials or billboard signs, how they're pushing out credit cards, accepting no credit, bad credit to purchase, vehicles, homes. And I was even on Instagram this morning before I started this lesson, and there's these young Jakes, so-called Mexicans, which are the tribe of Issachar. And it's a woman, and she's with her dude, in the photo, and celebrating how they just purchased a so-called, and I want to say so-called because to them it's brand new, but really the house has been around for a couple years and it's fairly new. But to them, they're all stuck in this, false dream world that to them it's a brand new home, and, they got it financed for what they can afford, which in the beginning, these things look nice. Yeah, I could afford that. Yeah, it's no big deal. A couple months in, you start to be like, okay, well, now I need to really adjust my living situation to afford these things. A year, 2 years, and you're like, fuck, this is kind of tough. Especially with the job market now, where you don't know. They could just let you go, tell you, hey, this is just what it is. There's no production. We had to cut off a lot of people. And you could be randomly selected to where you get cut off. Then how are you going to afford to pay, that mortgage? Which the word mortgage means a death contract. Synonymous with the word morgue. All right? Mortgage. Okay? And we're not ignorant of Esau, Satan's devices, man. That's why brothers ain't, looking to purchase homes or, you got to be an idiot. Okay? You got to be a complete fucking moron to get fooled by this devil to buy a home. To go and lease a brand new fucking car. You got to be a bug out, man. Now, if you can afford it, okay, but I'm mainly speaking to, Israelites and these other nations, mainly Israel, prophesying against you Babylonians in general. You got to be, a fucking moron if you can't afford to do these things. And here it is, you're taking these things, this false hope, All right, the scriptures say us brethren, we're not in darkness, because we've seen what happened in 2008 with the market crash and, people getting their homes taken back by the banks. Okay? This thing is going to happen again. All right? Real soon. And it's going to be a total collapse of the economy. And it's going to be to the point that the collateral of all the debt that you put yourself in is going to be you. Okay? Because you're not going to have anything to pay off pay off that debt. Pay off those interest rates. Which, if you sign for a loan, say a $20,000, $30,000 loan, and you have no means of paying it, but they see you have an income, they could take you to court and throw you in prison, man. So what's going to happen to these people when they can't, Esau's looking at all your money and the way you handle your money, and he's like, well, we're going to just gouge your checks. And a lot of these people ain't going to want to lose their life, lose what they invested in. So they're going to take the mark. They're going to take the microchip, man. This is all leading up to that. Because this next, market crash, all right, they say it's going to make 2008 look like Disneyland, man. Feel like Disneyland. Okay? This next crash is going to be the crash to bring in this digital world, man. This digital system. And ultimately the mark of the beast, which is a microchip. All right, we've been telling you this for years. And this is gonna happen, man. In our lifetime. Okay, so don't be ignorant of this damn devil, man. Hey, us brethren, we're not ignorant, but there's Israelites out there that have not fully woken up. And they need to hear this. Okay, if it's in your means, you got some money, don't go and buy a fucking brand new 2025, 2026 vehicle. If you got the means, you got the money, go fucking buy a $5,000 car. Couple $1,000 car. I wouldn't say couple, but 5,000. You got 10,000. You can get a really nice car with 10,000. You can get an older Toyota. All right, and they last forever. Okay. You see a lot of these older Toyotas, these old Toyota trucks, the T100 and the Toyota Hilux from the 90s. Those things are pushing like 200,000 miles, still being sold for like 15 bands, man. Why is that? Okay, because those older Toyotas would get like 500,000 miles, man. Some old school diesel vehicles, okay, will get 1,000,000 miles and keep pushing, man. All these newer cars, they're made of they got plastic manifolds, they fucking fall apart. By the time you go to address the situation, you got to replace a whole motor. Okay? These new homes, so-called newer homes, okay, the walls are thin as paper. Okay, no privacy. All right, they ain't got no fucking backyards. Okay? You don't know. Don't play into this man's system, man. Be wise out there. With that, I want to give all the praise, all the honor, and all the glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Harakakwadash. And of course, as always, double honors to our apostles and our elders that rule well at Great Millstone. Until next time, Shalom.